unexpected self-maintenance period far from the confines of home and using limited assistance where we had to change the gearbox of one of our engines. Every single inch of our running rigging and the sailing had to be meticulously checked, thoroughly maintained, and ensured that every rope and canvas was in the prime condition and the prime position possible, because we totally rely on the winds when we cross the Atlantic or when we are traveling over the oceans.
India's naval diplomacy is making waves across the Atlantic. Indian Navy's sail training ship INS Sudarshini arrived in Boston, joining the international fleet at SAIL Boston 2026. It is a part of the United States SAIL250 celebrations, marking the Declaration of Independence in 1776. The ship reached Boston on Sunday after participating in the SAIL 4th 250 celebrations in New York. According to India's Ministry of Defense, INS Sudarshini joined the Grand Parade of Sails, marking the opening of SAIL Boston 2026. It represents India among more than 60 tall ships from over 20 countries participating in the event. The ship is currently on its Lokayan 2026 transoceanic expedition. The mission highlights India's maritime diplomacy and strengthens the growing India-US maritime partnership. Speaking in Boston, Commanding Officer Commander Ravikanth Nandoori described the voyage as a masterclass in resilience. He highlighted the major challenges faced by the crew.
Everyone, I'm Commander Ravikanth Nandoori. I'm the commanding officer of Indian Naval Sail Training Ship INS Sudarshini.
All right. Commander, SAIL 250 has now come to an end officially. Could you share the highs and lows of this historic voyage that you and your colleagues undertook, something that you'll probably remember all your life?
Definitely. I mean, this entire voyage has in itself been a masterclass in resilience and pride, filled with extraordinary moments and significant challenges even. The absolute pinnacle was navigating into New York and Boston under full sail, representing India alongside a majestic fleet of global tall ships, closely matched by the pure triumph of our historic first ever transatlantic crossing. And conversely, our lowest, I would say, and most testing period has been arriving in Sète, France, where we had to execute an intense, unexpected self-maintenance period far from the confines of home and using limited assistance where we had to change the gearbox of one of our engines. And thereafter to ensure that the entire mission was successful. So there the resilience and our tactical acumen came into play, and that helped us a lot in ensuring the mission was successful to date.
Commander Nandoori explained that weeks of planning went into preparing the vessel for its first transatlantic crossing, including navigation studies, weather analysis, engineering preparations, and logistical planning.
How did you really prepare a sail ship for that? Not just prepare, but, to sustain yourself in this whole voyage. How did that all happen?
So honestly speaking, preparing a three-masted bark like ours for a maiden transatlantic crossing required weeks of meticulous planning and uncompromising attention to detail. Every single inch of our running rigging and the sailing had to be meticulously checked, thoroughly maintained, and ensured that every rope and canvas was in the prime condition and the prime position possible, because we totally rely on the winds when we cross the Atlantic or when we are traveling over the oceans. So keeping that in mind, a lot of preparation had to be undertaken before we embarked on this transatlantic voyage. That included some critical engineering spares and extra provisions that needed to be stocked up on the ship, which we did it well before in advance. And tactically, we spent hours analyzing the route that we would be taking, keeping in account the unpredictability of the weather and the oceanographic situation in the Atlantic Ocean. Atlantic is a totally unforgiving water body, and a lot of planning and thought process has to go into the preparation aspect of it, the navigational part of the voyage, and including the provisions and the logistic aspect of the voyage as well. So weeks went into preparing right from the minute we departed from Sète in France and entered the Atlantic. That's when our entire preparation continued, and I'll be proud to say that we have been able to achieve our maiden transatlantic voyage without any hiccups.
From the Indian Ocean to the Atlantic, the voyage of INS Sudarshini is showcasing India's naval legacy on the global stage.